Guys, we're in for a treat today. All right, so what I've got right here are the most extravagant and crazy LED whips you could possibly buy. I've got two of them here. They're 6 feet long. They have 366 different modes, every color of the rainbow. You can customize the modes, have it go to music. Words can't even begin to describe how cool these things are. So these are available on Amazon. They're made by a company called Nylite. You can get them in singles, in doubles. They have all different lengths. So they have 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot. So of course I went for the double set in the 6 foot length. Duh. So for that, the price is about $140. If you just get a single, it's about half that much. And then the shorter the length, the cheaper the price gets. So these could be a super cool, super groovy addition to your side-by-side, your dune buggy, your ATV, your pickup, your motorcycle. They come with a remote that you could adjust all the colors and functions and modes. Otherwise, there's an app you can get on your phone and do it that way. They're Bluetooth. So you can just have these as like a super fun LED whip, but there's also, I'll show you everything that it comes with here. Well, let me just grab all that stuff now, all the goodies that you get when you get these. All right, here is the pile of stuff that we got. Oh, and by the way, I'll put a link in the video description down below so you guys can check them out. Like I said, they're available on Amazon. They should be to your front door in a couple days. All the cool kids are getting them. So at the base of your whip, you're gonna have your little electrical cable there, and it does have a little nut that can screw on to the other side of the cable here. But that's kind of a good design, so you could always just take the whips off, you know, you could unhook it. They do have a quick detach base as well. You can lift up the bottom and then it would detach from the bottom lower base. Oh, they even put some grease on there for us and everything too. They were looking out for us. So, and to click it back in, you just pull up. This is spring loaded, let it go. Clicks right back on. The base stud on here, how these mount, that's a 3/8 inch bolt. Comes with your nut, a locking washer, and then a regular washer. So then since I got the pair is designed to be used together. So then you're gonna have one unit here that does have your 2 cables so it can hook to either one. So you only need the one power source for the both of them. Now it labels each of these left and right. Now why does it do that? Because if you want to, now you do just have your positive and negative cable if you just wanted to have the LED whip. But if you're putting these, like say we put these on our pickup truck, which might very well happen, there is a second wire that comes out of there and it has 4 different little ends on it. And so all those little different ends, it gives you a little tag here. It says exactly what they do. So you have one for brake light, reverse light, right turn, and left turn. So say we put these on our truck and then we hooked these up to just the factory wires and stuff in our vehicle. So then when we'd hit the brakes, both of the whips would strobe and then light up glowing red. When we put it in reverse, both of these 6-foot whips would be pure white. And if we actuated our turn signal, it would actuate the according LED whip just a full amber color. I had no idea that these were able to do that. So that's kind of fun. I've never seen an LED whip that did that. Imagine driving around town and you've got these huge LED whips that are your brake lights and turn signals. Oh my gosh, it'd be hilarious. But anyways, so that's why the connectors then for your power cables on the whips are labeled left and right. Each one of those comes with like, well, about 6 foot of cable. And then they both come down to the main unit here. So this is what's going to be your Bluetooth unit. So it says it's compatible with iOS 7.0 and above and Android 4.3 and above. Now on top of that, you're going to get a little baggie of some extra stuff. So you do get about 8 extra feet of red and black cable. So that's going to be essential because then you could extend the power cables from your unit, you know, splice these in with just some some butt splices, or whatever you'd like to do, so that you would easily have enough cable to reach whatever power source you're using. Now it does come with a switch. Now you can wire in the switch. Say you were putting this in a side-by-side. You know, your side-by-side on the dash is probably gonna have a few blank spots where you could punch out and put a switch. Well, so there is your switch. So it would look like a perfect factory fit and finish. Spots for your cables to clip on the back, and then it comes with a few extra little cables here that just have some connectors so you can plug stuff into that switch very easily. Now, in the owner's manual, this is probably the best owner's manual for anything I've ever seen. I was a little bit leery of this at first. I was like, this is kind of confusing. Where do I wire it? How do I do all this? The switch has a bunch of different prongs. What do I do for that? Well, there's multiple different ways that you could wire the switch and multiple functions that could have. But so in the manual, I mean, it shows you how to mount everything, and then it goes through with pictures, with just easy sentences and words telling you exactly how to wire this in. And there is multiple methods because there's so many different vehicles that you could put this on. So it just tells you exactly what to do for all this stuff. It tells you exactly what the remote does, exactly how to wire in all those brakes and turn signals and everything like that. It tells you exactly how to work the app for it. And then there is a whole section on how to make custom lighting modes. So say it's 4th of July or Christmas or St. Patrick's Day or something, and you're doing some ride, some cruise, or maybe you have a company that has certain colors and you're like, oh, that would be cool if the whips had the exact same color. Well, yeah, pick those exact colors and then design whatever kind of a flowing function or strobing function you want. Dude, this is crazy. You get a couple zip ties to tuck and hide cables all nice and tidy, your wires and stuff. And then you get 2 little rubber caps that say you had taken off your LED whips. You could just put those over those little power cables so no dirt, dust, grime, water gets in them. The little remote as well if you want to just control them manually. And then the most hilarious part, so each of these whips, it comes with these 2 little clamps. You can easily take them off with just a Phillips screwdriver and then a wrench on the back. But it has these little carabiners that you can clip on here to those little hooks so that you could put flags on the end of them as well. And literally any size of flag, because you could put those clamps wherever on this whip that you want. So say you have a 3x5 foot flag, say you have a 1x2 foot flag, it's gonna work for all of them. And then they give you 2 flags right off the bat, and these are extremely hilarious. So it's a bald eagle in patriotic colors that has its talons around the Nightlight name or logo. I think we're gonna put those on. This is just wild and crazy and fun. Ever since I was a kid, I always liked crazy, cool, light stuff. So getting these and installing these is gonna make me feel like a total child again. So now, the important part, what are we gonna put these on? Well, we've got 3 different motorcycles here. They're all kind of a different flavor, so one of those could be fun. You can't forget that right behind you, we do have our Dodge Dakota lifted 7 inches on 35-inch mud tires. I'll have to get back to you guys later. Maybe in like, why are you out of school so early?
We're not. We didn't go to school.
What? Oh, nice. Well, I'm probably tied up here for probably until 4 o'clock. We'll catch you later. But right when I got these, my initial plan, I had an idea. I had a vision for these. And so we're not gonna stray from that vision. We're gonna follow through. We are gonna put these on our Shadow 1100 bobber. Yep, that's happening. That is going down right now. So let's get to work. All right, so as we install these, I'll walk you through the basics of it, the gist of what we're doing. I won't get too crazy in detail because I am sure that no one ever has and no one ever will put 6-foot LED whips on something like that. Maybe they will, but like I said, the owner's manual lays it all out crystal clear with pictures for you. So on our bike, when looking at where I want to put these, so I left these little tabs on the frame here. So I think I'm just going to use like a 90-degree, kind of like an angle bracket here, where I have just a platform that I could put those mounting bolts down through. Now, if you were installing these on an ATV or a side-by-side, a lot of people will just go to like a luggage rack or a cargo area and drill a hole through it. But what you could also do, I mean, I'll show you like the angle brackets that I'm using. This is it. It's just a 90-degree, it's a 1/4-inch steel angle bracket. Super heavy duty, super rigid. This is never gonna bend on me. But I believe all of your flags and stuff, you know, like those super tall flags that you'd see when people are ripping through the sand dunes, you could just get like a little angle mount like that as well, and then put those bolts, those studs through, or just literally find a sturdy bolt on whatever unit you're working on and just go to your local hardware store or Tractor Supply and get something like this. All right, so we got oh my gosh, I'm gonna be laughing throughout this whole thing. All right, so we got the brackets on. I just threw some bolts through those holes and those little tails on the frame there, and they are perfectly symmetrical. They're perfectly at the same angle there, because ideally I want those two whips to come up perfectly parallel to each other. And I wanted them to be fairly spaced out, you know, so this is probably gonna be about 18 inches apart or so. And then I just drilled these out. These were just a little bit small, so then I just kind of, you can see I did a fantastically sloppy job there. That's what happens when you have like a crappy drill and some like lackluster bits. But it worked, it worked. So let's put the whips on and see what it looks like. We're not wiring it up yet, but we want to know. We're gonna put them in there in those mounting spots and see how it looks. Well, I better get one of my flags on here too, so we kind of get the full effect. I'm thinking of like what my neighbors will first think when they see me drive out of my house with this. Oh my gosh. That through washer, lock washer. Gosh, can you imagine taking a cruise? Like if we take this out and cruise on the weekend? Oh dear Lord. That's brilliant. That's amazing. Let me get the other one. Let me give you the full effect. Oh yes, that is happening. That is going down today. Oh, and then the flags will be just fluttering in the wind as we're just ripping. That is amazing. All right, now we got to get some power. We got to get some juice to this baby and see what they look like. And I'll like roll it into the garage so we can get, you know, a little bit less light than full daylight here to kind of peep them. But we'll do the maiden voyage tonight. We will do the night ride. Once night falls, this baby is ripping the town. All right, so I've got everything wired up. We moved the operation into the garage here, kind of a lower light setting. So, and I don't have anything like tucked away. I've just got some wires loosely here. I mean, I screwed everything in. You know, we'll try and get it all neat and tidy. So just for a quick test, I'll use the remote that it came with here. I'll sit on my trusty little chair over here and we'll see what we see. I guess we'll just hit the on button first. And it certainly is working. Yeah, and get that going real fast. We'll try another mode. Okay, just a strobing. Ooh, kind of an ambiance color change. Okay, interesting. And of course you could, so if we slow that way down, ooh, make that kind of romantic. We'll speed it back up. And then the color button, so I can change the colors of that same mode to a bunch of different options. So that's the thing. You have all these different modes, but then you can change. So I live in Nebraska, that red and white, that's gonna be popular on game day, I'll tell you that. Next mode. Whoa, nice, like a rainbow aura. Well, let me try just standard colors. Oh, so you could just do like a straight yellow. You could do a straight white, blue, pink, red. The boys in blue would not like that one. We'd for sure get pulled over if we did that. gosh. Okay, so now we just need to wait for it to be dark out. So I'm probably just gonna have some dinner, we'll chill out, and then once night hits, we'll take the Night Rider out. Nice! All right, guys, so darkness has finally fallen. I've got the bike all ready to go with the whips and the flags. Oh man, it looks the part. And then I've got a 360 camera right here, so we can kind of get those lovely views of everything. So I guess now, without further ado, let's ride. Well, so that is about the wildest, most radiant thing you could ever do on your motorcycle, or a four-wheeler, or a side-by-side, or truck, or boat. I was thinking about doing that on like a boat as I was out riding. Oh man. So those LED whips by Nightlight have absolutely blown my mind. They are so good. Could be a little bit wild to rock every day, or is it? Yeah, but oh man, this bike with those on them, imagine like Sturgis at night or like Daytona Bike Week, something like that. It grabs all the attention, every ounce of attention from everyone in sight that you could possibly grab, you get it. So very, very cool. The link for them on Amazon is in the video description below. But otherwise, like the video if you had fun today. Subscribe if you want to see more, and until next time.